Yeah. Who is the Flag Officer commanding Naval Doctrine Command, Nigerian Navy. He was commissioned into the Nigerian Navy on 25th September 1993. And yes, he was the directing staff, chief instructor, and director of logistics at the Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Nigeria, as well as the Pioneer College, Nigeria. He was also directing staff at the Premier National Defense College, Nigeria. And he has served as base operations in various at NSS, Delta, Deputy Command Operations as the second flag officer. Admiral Zakaria has also attended several courses at home and abroad. In Sweden, India, strategy and development studies from the Bangladesh University of Professionals and currently pursuing a doctorate in defense. A very impressive CV. So you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. I'd like to extend the warm greetings from the Chief of the Naval Staff of Nigeria, Vice Admiral Ogala, for the invitation extended to Nigeria to attend this Aman dialogue. We have always been lucky to have had invitations from Pakistan. So thank you very much, sir, and I'd like to express my talk is going to be on perspectives of maritime security operations and collaboration, looking at Nigeria as, of course, it's no gainsaying that the importance of the sea to littoral nations is of economic value and prosperity. And having said that, the Gulf of Guinea itself provides a maritime environment that is rich in resources, apart from the trade, and these resources ranging from natural ecosystem and also oil and gas within the Gulf of Guinea. The Gulf of Guinea itself has a maritime coastline of 2,874, and Nigeria occupies a central stage within that Gulf of Guinea with 420 nautical miles of coastline, and also now, having said that, it's obvious that the security landscape for the prosperity of Nigeria. The 84,000 square nautical miles is rich in natural resources and provides over 90% of the foreign earnings to Nigeria. Apart from that, we have our natural ports that handles over 80 million tons of cargoes annually, and we have a very rich fishing industry that tons of men has come up with a deep sea blue project. which is expected to boost the economy with another $5 billion US. Of course, this environment comes with its own opportunities, like I've mentioned, and also comes with the maritime security challenges. The maritime security challenges within the Nigerian maritime environment, and by extension, the broader Gulf of Guinea, parts of the maritime environment within Indian Ocean and also Nigeria, or Gulf of Guinea as it is. Apart from, you have the issues of piracy, issues of sea robbery, issues of human trafficking, drugs, so on and so forth. But there is a peculiar maritime threat that it seems to be exclusive to the Gulf of Guinea and Nigeria, and that is the issue of crude oil theft. This has been a problem, and Nigeria Navy being the center stage in the Gulf of Guinea, all the navies in the Gulf for economic activities to thrive. And of course, we have mixed platforms integrated with a very comprehensive maritime domain awareness infrastructure of the EEZ, and any vessel coming in within Nigeria's maritime environment is sure to be detected if. Having said that, the most important thing, since the theme of this conference has to do with collaboration, cooperation for safer seas, Guinea, under the auspices of the Yaoundé Code of Conduct. In 2013, the nations of the Economic Community of West Africa states and with a very comprehensive maritime security architecture. That architecture involves having one inter-regional coordinating center located in Yaoundé, and also we have two regional maritime coordination centers, one in Senegal and one in Angola. These regional maritime security centers coordinate the maritime activities maritime security activities West Africa and the East Central states of East Central states. Now, each of these maritime security coordinating centers have 3 zones, and the Central African states have 2 zones. Each of these zones have what we call the multinational coordinating center. Now, the multinational coordinating centers are into information sharing, tactical, and the operational level, while the regional maritime centers are of that, they coordinate the activities within the economic community of West African states and also that of the economic community of Central African states. So at that level, that is the structure that we have that will cooperate with other countries within the Gulf of Guinea. And it's mainly on information sharing, not pursuits. And once you transfer into another country's territory, at least it allows them to make the arrest and also repatriate these vessels back to the point at which the infraction was committed. Apart from that, Nigeria also is into international maritime conference and regional exercise. It's the same pattern that of Aman 2025. We have held it in so that it forms an avenue where you will brainstorm and then capacity building and also training. On the international part, we have fraction we can always investigate and then come up with, make sure that the perpetrators are a yearly exercise sponsored by United States, exercise Obangame Express and Flintlock, and also there's an exercise organized by the French Navy, African Nemo, which is done yearly, Gulf of Guinea. One of the basic challenges that this separate architecture provides is that we have an issue. These are one of the issues that we have tried to see how that can be improved upon. And recently, we have also had the establishment of what we call the command to let go some of their sovereign rights. But of course, that's going to be a problem, but with time, I want to assume that that will be improved upon on the maritime domain awareness capability that we have so that we can have a full picture of what happens in the maritime environment. We have to encourage other navies within the coast of Gulf of Guinea to also have the maritime domain awareness capability. That way, if it is infused, we'll have a proper coverage of the general area, and we are sure that the seas will be secured. And capacity building is one of those things. And then the inroad of AI and some of ourselves, that will be what we should look forward to. I hope that this few talk of mine has given you an insight on the collaboration effort of the Nigerian Navy and other navies within the Gulf of Guinea. And I hope that...
Thank you, Admiral, for sharing your perspective and also letting us know the cooperative structures which exist. So I think the bottom line is how to improve this cooperation, because we know the challenges and the threats to maritime security. And it's a useful discussion, and I hope more input will come. Before I proceed to request Colonel Vice Umar Bogore, Commander Djibouti Coast Guard. And I also like to pose two questions. Whosoever wishes to make a comment on that in the context of cooperation. Let me first CV part. Commander Vice Umar joined the Navy Djibouti in 1988 and pursued basic integrating into over 3 years King Fahd Naval Academy in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Then he was back, he took command of the Navy Patrol, then he went to USA for a course. Between 2007 and 2008, he occupied the functions of Operation Officer in Djibouti Navy. Then he again went to Rhodes Island, Naval War College in Rhodes Island, USA in 2009. And then in July 2010, he was appointed by the Presidential Decree Commander of the Djibouti Coast Guard and left the Navy after 22 years of loyal service. So, sir, the floor is yours, but I would like to, because when we talk of cooperation, it has to be at the regional level and international level. Role of sea lanes for economic development and connectivity. Can these structures like the IORA, etc., and do you see any role for the CBMs to foster a collaborative approach?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I would like, first of all, to present what I'm doing right now on the maritime security and safety. In Horn Africa or Eastern region. So if you allow me, I will be back for that answer and I will present a little bit. Just a very few slides, and we will finish. First of all, I would like to share my colleagues where Djibouti is. But last 20 years, when the piracy popped up, in West the Indian Ocean, the Djibouti, the Navy coming, refueling, and they change the crew. I'm sorry. Djibouti is located down the south entrance of Bab al-Mandab, west of Gulf of Aden, surrounding 4 countries. Yemen, we share with the seaside border. That's okay. So Djibouti as a, sorry, a technical problem. Coming up in 2009 and became very active, Djibouti became the first country affected this phenomenon, the ban of the maritime activities. That's why the Djiboutian government decided to establish the Coast Guard, the end of 2010, and they signed Djibouti Code of Conduct, January 2009, and they established a training center, regional training center, to let the region's maritime. Djibouti, when they created the Coast Guard, why they created the Coast Guard? In the region in West Gulf of Aden and the Bab al-Mandab, as well as the southern in the Red Sea. And those institutions was created in the end of 2010. I was the person who in charge to create that organization. I start from the scratch. From the zero, and finally, after that organization now became the pillar of the maritime security in Djibouti, as well as became the focal point for international navy, came in the area to focus to region. So the mission gave to the Coast Guard to illegal fishing, as well as the search and the rescue, because in that area, and as you know, this area is the unstable area. Where piracy engulfed Aden here, and disturb the most shipping, most important. BCS, the shipping line in Bab al-Mandab. Priority to secure this area, which is vital not only for Djibouti, but also for international community. The maritime security challenges in that region, especially in West Indian Ocean and the southern, this is the challenge for this area. The illegal fishing is an economic reason only. But the worst cases we are facing in this region, this area, back from the shore as well as the pirates. So the title, as you see here, is a problem is going on almost daily or through the week. Political problems impact negatively to the maritime security and the safety in this region. while, as you know, the country is surrounding in that point is in stable countries. So almost. We're suffering also many people from Arab Peninsula countries. Some of them we never allow to go there. We stop them. But when we are stopped 10,000, there is more than 10,000. So as a Coast Guard, I see to stop those migrants. He come to bother or to make, to on the other hand, to save their lives at sea. So this is the daily the daily ships grounding, capsizing with hundreds of migrants in that area because there is a lot, almost more than 20,000 ships passing through every year. Next. The Houthis to the shipping lines getting damaged. Several ships. So some of them were attacked near, not far from our territorial water. This ship is a Verbena, you know her. That ship was attacked by missiles, and we're not far from that place. That is a boat for the Coast Guard. We send them to save the crew. We discharge the crew of that ship. That's one of the search and rescue operations. We try to shut down the fire because it's more than us. Next. This is during the operation. As a maritime security authorities in the area, we share the history with the other forces. Present on the ground, on the sea. Different forces, including CTF, who work Atalanta, UNAFOR, and the other forces present in the area. We are not coordinate, we are not collaborate, we are not exchange the information with the other navies came to help us in the area. We never do anything. So all the navies coming in the area for the mission to support the international to support the maritime security and the safety. We are focal point for them. We are exchange information. We exchange and we support us. When that is what happened on the region, and the collaboration and coordination is the most important to secure the maritime security and the safety that in a stable region. Next. So including, one of the important things we are sharing with the other navies is the exercise together. We host exercises funded by US AFRICOM. We call it Cutlass Express exercise yearly, and the Japan Coast Guard. And we participate also the exercise organized by Royal Saudi Navy Red Wave to enhance our capabilities to face the challenges. Next. Next. There's some picture. Next. This is one of the exercises we set up with the US forces on Northern Africa. Next. Next. There's a Red Wave. Our brother in Saudi Arabia supported us for enhancing our capabilities to be able to do the job well in the area. Next. This is a picture from the Red Wave. It's one of the important tools we are using to share the other navies and Coast Guard. Next. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much for letting us know that Djibouti, of course, Djibouti occupies a strategic location, and that you have Brigadier Abraham Bewart from Kenya to take the floor. Actually, we have about 20 minutes, and there are 3 speakers. So I would request all the panelists try to finish within 5 to 6 minutes, if possible, so that if maybe we will have some time for at least 2 questions. Now, Brigadier Abraham has been Chief of Operations, Kenya Shipyards, Peacekeeping Training Officer in New York, Commanding Officer, Kenya Navy Technical Service Unit, Senior Directing Staff, Joint Warfare, Kenya. Then, of course, he has attended various courses, Master of Arts from USA. Costa Rica, Master of Arts, University of Nairobi, as well as Diploma in Professional Military Training Education, US NDU. So you have the floor.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Well, on behalf of the commander of the Kenya Navy, who was unable to attend because of other exigencies, we are very thankful for having been recognized the importance of Kenya in the eastern part of the Indian Ocean. And indeed, Africa in general, and as we all realize that the future technologies will rely mainly on the resources from the African continent, and especially from the Central African region, which its exit to the rest of the world's market will be through the Indian Ocean. So I always say that Africa perhaps is the last virgin in the party. So I will not dwell much on what my colleagues have spoken about, but the Kenyan perspectives on a number of these threats and all the other illegal activities going on within that part of the Indian Ocean. The stability of Somalia is paramount, and Kenya as a nation, from the time Somalia ceased to have a government in the ocean. And as you know, recently, the newly renewed mission, African Union mission in Somalia, we are also part of it. And we are mainly in the southern part of Somalia, in Kismayu, which we have been there since 2011. On the issues of illegal fishing activities, of course, this depends on increased capabilities that we are in. But of course, the most important part of it is cooperation and collaboration amongst partner nations. Some of those initiatives that have been mentioned by my colleagues, I don't wish to belabor on them. On the effects of climate change, what we are doing as the Navy and as Kenya, one part of it, we are addressing the issue of deforestation by targeting a forest cover of 30% by the year 2032 of afforestating the mangroves trees along the oceans. And as you know, mangrove trees are very good in a provision of oxygen and cleaning the environment where our fishes and other marine resources reside. And perhaps lastly, on the point that Dr. Yuma called the puncturing of the world, to think as a will also mean the puncturing of the law of the sea. And we have seen in various national instruments of power, and we need to ask ourselves, see look like if the activities that we are seeing in the oceans today, especially in the Far East, are actually a threat to the existing world order, in particular, the law of the sea. Thank you.
I'm very glad you apprised us of the plantation drive in your country, and we are also in Pakistan engaged in this activity on a fairly good scale. Thank you very much. And sir, if you would like to say anything on the prospects of international collaboration in terms of addressing the non-traditional maritime security threats, what more could be done within the existing structures and mechanisms? Your thought would be appreciated. Let me also introduce Rear Admiral Strategic Studies from Command and Staff College, Riyadh. He served on various important operational and staff billets during his entire naval career. And his operational appointments include ASW officer on board some ships at Al Riyadh, operation officer on board HMS Makkah. He has also been a squadron commander of very fast patrol boats. His staff appointments include Director of Planning and Operations at Western Fleet Command, instructor at Western Fleet Training Center. And he served as Deputy Assistant Defense Attaché in United States, and liaison officer for overseeing Eastern Fleet modernization. This was serving as Base Commander Jeddah. And yeah, thank you. You have the floor.
In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, Your Excellency, Chief of Navies, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First, I took the opportunity to thank the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, represented by Pakistan Navy, for excellent hosting of this forum, Aman Dialogue 2025. Going through accelerating geopolitical changes that affect the maritime security in the region in general. Maritime security in the Red Sea, also in the main choke points, maritime security in the Indian Ocean, which had an impact on securing and protecting of strategic straits and sea line of communication. First, the protecting of global trade. Maritime trade represents about 90% of global trade, and securing international water and ports through which goods pass requires an effective strategies to protect them from risks such as piracy and political stability. Safe water contribute to enhance regional stability. When countries are able to protect their maritime borders, counter smuggling of drugs, weapons, human traffic, as a result, maritime dispute is reduced, and that enhances international relation and regional stability. Third one, protecting the marine environment. Maritime security is not limited to protect trade and goods only, but also the protection of marine environment from pollution and illegal exploitation of resources. Therefore, maintaining healthy marine environment is essential to maritime security. Fourth, developing the local port, which contribute in the boosting of sectors such as tourism, fishing, and when we have safe ports, we will create 1 million of jobs. There is a challenges facing maritime security. Also, there is a risk. First, terrorist attack. Maritime tourism is a major challenge to maritime navigation caused by targeting commercial ships, which clearly affected maritime security and the movement of commercial ships. So this targeting lead to oil or chemical spills, which will affect unstable littoral countries, which requires regional and international coordination to confront those unstable country to stable country. Third one is the political tension. Political tension between countries, especially in troubled regions, lead to maritime dispute, and those disputes may lead to the escalation of maritime attack. As a result, shipping lines and delays may be threatened. For climate change and environment, the negative impact of climate change on maritime environment affect food security and economy. Maritime attacks may lead to the environmental disaster, and this disaster will damage marine ecosystem and affect marine life. And the most impact. The economic impact on maritime trade is considered the biggest challenges facing country, as shipping and insurance cost of commercial ship raise, which directly and negatively affect trade exchange operation. security. First, international cooperation. The state must enhance cooperation through international agreement to combat to recontrol their land and sea borders. Second is the technology and innovation, using advanced surveillance system and information technology to enhance ability to detect threat in enough and ample time. Third, training and qualification. Developing training program for marine personnel is very important to ensure their readiness to face current and future challenges. And from that, actually, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has given significant attention to and discussing the advancement in technology and means through which the security system in the maritime field can be developed. From this perspective, the Ministry of Defense, represented by Royal Saudi Naval Force, organized many international forums in the last 4 years. The first one was under the title, The Importance of Securing Strategic Maritime Passages. And now we are here, 60 country participate. In conclusion, maritime security is a very important element that affects the global economy, the stability of countries. By enhancing maritime security, we can build a prosperous maritime future based on sustainability, international cooperation, ensuring the safe navigation and the flow of trade, and protecting the marine environment. Finally, I thank you for your time and effort and good intention.
Thank you. Thank you very much for this comprehensive perspective. Thank you very much. She is a seasoned analyst on international and maritime affairs and contributes her scholarly writings in journals and the newspapers, and also appears on mainstream media. She holds a master's degree in defense and strategic studies, and right now she is associated with these. Now, we see a growing balance between cooperation and competition in international security, ensuring, striking a balance, ensuring both the national interest and the collective security goals.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Masood Khalid. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Taking the opportunity as the last panelist from Pakistan, I wish to extend my very warm welcome to all the delegates present over here and dignitaries. And I especially want to present holding the Aman exercise, but also the Maiden Aman Dialogue 2025. Considering the paucity of time, Ambassador Masood Khalid, I have sorted out a few points which I would like to delve upon. Because we are talking about this interconnected and multipolar world. Ladies and gentlemen, the security of maritime spaces comes up as a critical issue for global stability and security. And for the long time, control of the seas has been synonymous with the sea power, sea commerce, and security. And routes or deterring piracy, also discussed in today's session, the environmental protection, securing of digital infrastructure, and even the broader disarmament and armed control agendas that underpin international security. While we are talking about international law and peace and stability, I think in Indian Ocean region, the competition between specific nations is primarily perceptive in nature, and definitely a need to work together in some domains, especially when stakes of other nations are in, but they must not override the need to ensure peace and stability in the region. For example, Indo-Pacific strategy proposed by USA talks about minilateralism, and global security initiative proposed by China talks about the global peace and security. Although both these strategies stress upon in maritime domain freedom of navigation and safety of shipping and all other domains or sector opinion in Indian Ocean region. And there has to be an agreement between the states to manifest this alignment. Another issue pertaining to maritime security, which I think is not discussed today, but touched upon by one of the speakers, is the overlapping claims and conflicts in exclusive economic zones. And it is a matter of commonplace that exclusive economic zones should overlap, given the meaning of exclusive. The countries' overlapping claims must therefore resolve the matter by letting nations conventions on law of sea to resolve the issue. As discussed, and you all know that sea is a common heritage of mankind, and even the landlocked challenges and opportunities at sea are thus common. No one country can claim to negotiate situations at sea alone, and hence a collaborative approach under the auspices of international law and diplomacy must. An excellent platform provides an excellent opportunity to forge collaboration and cooperation in maritime domain. And Pakistan Navy, ladies and gentlemen, has always forged collaborative strategy to negotiate challenges at sea. When coalition maritime campaign plan was formed post 9/11, Pakistan was among the first few and the only regional activity, and to ensure freedom of navigation in our region, Pakistan's Navy initiative of Regional Maritime Security Plan has been lauded by the regional countries for tangible outcomes. As dignitaries sharing platform with me are mostly from African countries, and it is my utmost privilege. The most important outcome of these interactions is the interoperability, which is generated between the respective navies, and as a result, mutual understanding is enhanced. In the end, or to conclude, I must say that opportunities for collaboration must be explored in a way that mutual understanding and interoperability can be catalyzed through public diplomacy, either between Pakistan and African continent or any other continent of the world. And this missing aspect needs to be highlighted from all the sides of, or all the navies which are participating in Aman exercise. I think the win-win situation can be that we all should gather on a platform like Aman Dialogue, or the other opportunities which should be provided, so that our common problems, the security or the challenges at sea, should be addressed. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I think we have already run out of time. Questions or comments, but my take wrapping up this session is that around this platform, there is a realization that the challenges, but they are growing and they are intensifying, and the panelists identified various factors which are behind this phenomena, this trend. But at the same time, there is an acknowledgement to deal with these challenges because they really pose panelists for making their contribution and giving their input. I'm sure that the audience would have benefited from this. Thank you very much.
For day 2 will begin at 9 a.m. Thank you and have a pleasant evening.
Young's Mayo Dip Sauce in new flavors. Dip karo, food ko excite karo.
Welcome to the Hindu's Parlay podcast. I'm your host, Arundeep. As we record this on Wednesday, February 5th, Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, is in India and he has a packed schedule. Such a packed schedule, in fact, that he had an on-stage chat with IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw, and that conversation was only around 15 minutes long. But even during those 15 minutes, he had to address something that he said last time he visited.
Truly substantial.
Look, the way this works is we're going to tell you it's totally hopeless to compete with us on training foundation models. You shouldn't try, and it's your job to try anyway.
A foundational AI model is a machine learning model that uses a huge amount of data, and that's essentially what powers services like ChatGPT and Google's Gemini. Training a foundational model is a really expensive thing to do, and that's why Nandan Nilekani, one of the founders of Infosys, said last December that it was essentially not the best use of a company's money, right? That it was a waste of resources. But a couple weeks ago, the Chinese firm DeepSeek surprised the world by training a foundational model at a fraction of the cost that the likes of OpenAI had been spending. And that has pulled us back into this debate on a foundational model. Should we be building one? Sam Altman today said, well, even with DeepSeek, it's still a really expensive thing to do to train a foundational model, but there are other kinds of small language models or SLMs and reasoning models that India can still have a leadership position in. Now, some Indian firms have been actively trying to train our own foundational model, and they have a couple arguments, one being that we need a domestic solution for local needs, and the other is about having sovereignty over the model, right? So that Indian AI deployments aren't at the mercy of the big global companies that are leading the cutting edge work being done there. So to take stock of where we are headed on foundational models and AI deployment, we have Pranesh Prakash, who works on law, public policy and technology. He's a co-founder at the Center for Internet and Society and is also right now the principal consultant at Anekanta, Law and Policy Advisory. Pranesh is also an affiliated fellow at the Yale Law School's Information Society Project. And we have Tanuj Bhojwani, who was most recently the head of People Plus AI, and he's also been a part of iSpirit, which has worked on a lot of the digital public infrastructure, the DPI projects like Aadhaar and UPI, which is called the India Stack.